Ikki is a bit of a special game. If you've ever heard of it at all, it's for one reason. Ikki is the first Kusoge. Now I expect 95% of the people who ever watch this video will know the term, but for the few people who stumble into it that don't, Kusoge is a Japanese portmanteau for Kusogame, or literally, crap game. Cartoonist Jun Miura coined the term in 1986 while writing a column on Famicom games for a magazine. And Ikki was the game that caught his wrath. Obviously, there's no absolute definition of what is and is not Kusoge, and you can find plenty of arguments about what is Kusoge and what is Bakage or stupid game. And there's some people who say Ikki's unfairly tarnished by its association with the term. Those people are wrong. Ikki is a perfect example of the unpleasant to play games that have become such a large part of the Famicom's library. Ikki, in the title, refers to a peasant revolt, and that's the premise behind the game. It was originally an arcade game, and it was only 3 or 4 months old when the Famicom version came out. You control that peasant, and your goal on every stage is to collect 8 gold coins. The coins are regularly distributed throughout these maps, which are about 2 screens by 2 screens. The Famicom version only has 4 maps. That visual design on those maps is the first major problem with Ikki. It's very difficult to tell where you can walk and where you can't, and the boundaries of the map aren't really clear. You'll just stop being able to move in that direction eventually. But then there's things like this group of riflemen. They're just background scenery. The actual enemies you'll be dealing with are these ninjas. They come in 3 varieties. Ones that rush in from the side, the red ones that rush in from the side but are really fast, and these ones that teleport in. To deal with the ninja, you can throw a sickle. Both A and B throw it, but the catch is you don't aim it. The sickle is supposed to go towards the enemy that's closest to you. And I say supposed to because I encountered situations where there was a closer enemy that was about to attack me, and my sickle went someplace else entirely. The sickle is pretty slow too, and it's not like you can lead your shots. Sometimes you can shoot the ninja through walls, sometimes you can't. Let's just say the hitboxes are pretty questionable. Another enemy that you'll face are these women who will appear and chase directly after you. If they grab you, they smother you with kisses for a few seconds. You can still throw sickles while they grab you though. If you take too long to complete a stage, a monster will appear to chase you down. There's actually a few different varieties of monsters too. There are a few things you can pick up to help you on your mission, like this bamboo spear, which actually makes things tougher on you. You'll continuously attack in a short distance directly up from you, so it's very limited in its usefulness. It's much better to just dodge around it rather than pick it up. This scroll gives you a 1-up, and this radish will let you move faster. Picking up this smoke means that if you complete the stage, you go to a bonus stage. Your goal on the bonus stage is to collect all of the onigiri that are being tossed out. The positions that they're tossed out are pretty randomized, so it's entirely possible that you will get one at the far right and then one at the far left, which will make one of them uncollectible. If you manage to collect all 10 rice balls, it just gives you the points for them. Really, there's not much reason to go to the bonus stage. The last major problem with Ikki, which I'm sure you've seen as I played, is that you have to go to almost the edge of the screen before it will scroll. Since enemies spawn at the edge of the screen, that means they're going to be spawning right on top of you. It's pretty bad design. Ikki has a 2-player mode as well. 2 players can simultaneously torment each other by playing the game. To quote Jun Miura, Ikki is not a game for 1 or 2 players. Ikki is one of those games that Sunsoft put a secret code in. This one is 8 letters, though, so you have to complete 2 loops of the game to collect the entire code. Despite being pretty awful, Ikki was still a big seller. Over 800,000 copies were sold, and Sunsoft would reuse some aspects of it in other Famicom games. The woman reappears in the first Mito Komen game, and the bonus stage shows up as something that you're required to complete in one of Sunsoft's adventure games. One aspect of the game I haven't talked about yet is the cover art. It was literally drawn by a child. And not a child of one of the team members. A child of one of their neighbors. Ikki's not the worst game we're going to see in this project. That said, not being the worst game ever isn't really a recommendation. Visually a mess, and it winds up being more frustrating than entertaining. Why play Ikki when you could play almost any other action game on the Famicom?